On the outskirts of a small farming town, there was a family-owned farm that had been passed down for generations. The farm was known for its lush green fields and its bountiful harvests, but it was also known for the strange occurrences that happened there. One autumn evening, a family of 4 decided to stay overnight in the farmhouse as they traveled through the area. The family was tired from their long journey, so they went to bed early. As they slept, strange noises echoed throughout the house. The father woke up to investigate, but he couldn't find the source of the noise. He assumed it was just the old house settling and went back to bed. The next morning, the family noticed that the cornfields had been flattened overnight. They assumed it was just the wind and didn't think much of it. As they were leaving the farm, they noticed something strange in the distance. There was a scarecrow in the middle of the field, but it wasn't there the day before. As they approached the scarecrow, they noticed that it was different from the others. It had a human-like face and clothes that were eerily similar to the ones they had seen in the farmhouse. Suddenly, the scarecrow moved. It turned its head to look at them, and the family screamed in terror. They ran back to their car, but it wouldn't start. As they frantically tried to get the car to start, they heard footsteps approaching them. They turned around to see the scarecrow walking towards them, its twisted face contorted into a menacing grin. The family was never seen again. The locals searched the farm but found no trace of them. The farm became known as a place of evil, and the scarecrow remained in the field as a reminder of the horrors that had happened there. Legend has it that on quiet autumn nights, you can hear the screams of the family echoing throughout the farm, and if you look out into the field, you can see the scarecrow moving, its eyes following your every move. The farm remains abandoned to this day, and nobody dares to venture near it, for fear of meeting the same fate as the family. In a small farming community, there was a farm owned by an elderly couple. The farm had been in their family for generations, and they had always lived a quiet, peaceful life there. However, strange things began to happen on the farm. It all started when their crops began to die off, and the animals stopped producing milk and eggs. The couple tried everything to save their livelihood, but nothing seemed to work. They began to hear strange noises at night, and they saw dark figures moving around the fields. One night, the couple was awakened by a loud banging on their front door. When they opened it, they found nobody there. They went back to bed, but the banging continued, growing louder and more insistent. As they made their way back to the front door, they heard footsteps coming from upstairs. They slowly climbed the stairs, their hearts pounding in their chests. When they got to the top, they found the door to their bedroom was open. As they entered the room, they saw a figure in the shadows. It was a tall, thin man with a face obscured by a hood. The couple tried to run, but the man was too quick. He caught them and dragged them down to the basement. The basement was dark, and the air was musty. There were strange symbols painted on the walls, and the room was filled with a thick fog. The couple could hear strange chanting coming from somewhere in the room. As their eyes adjusted to the darkness, they saw that there were other people in the room with them. The people were disheveled and looked terrified. They were chained to the walls, and their eyes were glazed over. The couple soon realized that they had been brought to the farm to be sacrificed in a ritual. They tried to fight back, but the cultists overpowered them. The last thing they saw was the hooded figure raising a knife to their throats. The farm remained abandoned after the incident, and nobody knows what became of the cultists or the people they had kidnapped. The town still talks about the strange occurrences that happened on the farm, and some say that the couple's ghosts still haunt the place, warning others to stay away. In the heart of the Midwest, there was a large dairy farm that had been in operation for over a century. The owners of the farm, a husband and wife, had always prided themselves on their hard work and dedication to their animals. One summer, the couple began to notice strange occurrences happening around the farm. The cows were acting strangely, becoming agitated and restless for no apparent reason. The husband began to have vivid nightmares of shadowy figures lurking in the barns. One night, the wife heard a strange noise coming from the barn. She decided to investigate, thinking that one of the cows may have escaped. As she approached the barn, she saw a figure in the shadows, standing behind the cows. The figure was tall and thin, with pale skin and dark hair. It seemed to be whispering to the cows, and as the wife got closer, she could hear it speaking in a strange language she didn't recognize. The wife ran back to the house, terrified. She woke her husband, and they called the local sheriff. When the sheriff arrived, they searched the barn but found nothing out of the ordinary. The next day, the couple decided to install security cameras around the farm, hoping to catch any strange occurrences on video. The footage revealed something even more disturbing than they could have imagined. The shadowy figure they had seen the night before was real, and it wasn't alone. The cameras captured images of strange figures moving around the farm, performing rituals and sacrifices to some unknown entity. The couple tried to leave the farm, but they found that they were trapped. The roads leading away from the farm seemed to go on forever, leading them back to the same spot every time they tried to leave. Days turned into weeks, and the couple became more and more afraid. They could hear strange noises coming from the barn at night, and the cows became more agitated by the day. One night, they heard a loud crash coming from the barn. When they investigated, they found that the cows had been slaughtered in a brutal ritual, their blood spattered across the walls. The couple was never seen again, and the farm became known as a place of evil and darkness. People avoided the area, fearing that they too would become trapped on the farm and fall victim to the shadowy figures that roamed the fields.